Hey, Cortavius here. It's Iron Twins time. Gonna tackle a number of teams today that can show you Iron Twins. I'll try and throw on the screen here just how many teams so you can kind of see how many different options you'll have. But plan on throwing a number of teams from both the main account and the free-to-play here just to show you different levels of champs that can beat it. Speaking of champs that can come in helpful, if you click on the link in my description here, you can actually get Karato, the legendary nuker, who could do some damage in Iron Twins, and Tagoar, who could help him keep him alive when he hits level 15. All you have to do is follow 4 steps. Step 1, log out of Plarium Play on PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch raid and click complete the tutorial. And step 4, go to your inbox, claim your first champ. Karato will be there waiting for you. And you can level him up, get him ready, and well, it'll probably take you a little time to get to the Iron Twins, but he will certainly help your account, and a great way to start in raid. So as you can see on the screen there, we took down stage 15. This is what I'll call the easy consistent team. You need a Helicath or a Allsgore, somebody who can do block damage on 3-turn cooldown, and a few Painkeepers, and really any DPS works. Geomancer is the fastest, but Cold Heart, Husk, max HP champs work, or any DPS. Eventually you'll take the boss down because this team can live forever. So this is what I'll call the consistent, definitely the consistent easy team. I'll hit run one more time, and I don't know if we'll see her for the whole run, but actually while that's running, let me tell you a few things about the boss, and I'll show you that team. I do have a speed team that I'll show, and then a couple speed teams on this account, and then on the free to play I'll just show you some healthier teams that can just survive, that you don't need a block damage champ to use. So the boss has 250 speed, so if you want to get your abilities up or buffs up before he takes a turn, you're going to need to be faster than 250. He does have 350 resistance, so you're going to need 375 accuracy for your champs that need to land debuffs, and he has 400 accuracy, so you're going to need 505 resistance if you want to resist the boss. I don't know that any of the teams I'll show you here resist the boss. I don't really care to. I don't think you need to, but the game will tell you, hey, if you want to resist these iron brands the boss can put on you, then build a bunch of resistance. They said you need the same affinity. They say you should do high resistance teams, and most of us just didn't follow any of the things they thought we would need to do. He does ignore unkillable when he has less than 40% HP. So unkillable strats don't work very well on this boss unless you can kill him fast towards the end of that low HP. So those can work, but they're sketchy. So block damage does work. And then he does put a decreased crit rate, weaken, decreased defense, decreased attack. You can see most of my champs on the screen here have decreased attack and decreased defense on them. So if your teams are relying on those abilities, if you need attack to do damage, then that can impact you. This team has block damage on it, so we don't care if we have decreased defense, but it can definitely hurt your team over time. It does place an Iron Brand debuff on your teams that can't be blocked or removed. It can be resisted. So those will increase, and that's the debuff on the left of each of my champs. You can see the more turns those get on them, the more damage the boss can do later on his runs. Anything else I want to mention before I show you this team? He does have a double hitter that does more of that damage. He cleanses himself at turns 80, 60, and 40, or not turns. And when his HP hits level 80, 60, and 40, he will cleanse debuffs off himself. So it's helpful if like this team just keeps putting the debuffs back up because everybody keeps resetting Geomancer, and that helps. If you buff yourself, he gets a 10% turn meter fill. Unless you put decreased speed on him, then it'll stop that from happening. And multi-hits do 50% less damage for each additional hit. So Plarium said, hey, don't bring attackers with multi-hits. You'll see me bring 2 nukes and Amarias in. So you can out-damage that, but they do. That is the recommendation. So that's kind of the boss skills. So this is what I said. This is the safe, easy team. Let me show you the builds on these champs, and then I will go to the next team. So my recently used first, Helicath. He is in a lethal set, built more for damage because he's not going to get hurt in this fight. I do use him in arena sometimes, but not that often. He is sitting there with Helm Smasher as his tier 6 mastery, and he has Retribution on there because he can go ahead and take some extra attacks in there too. He has Temporal Chains on there. It's not important for this fight. He has no Relic, and his stats, he has some defense on there to do more damage. As I said, this is more of a damage build. He has 282 speed, crit cap 205 crit damage, and he doesn't need any accuracy because he's not trying to land any debuffs. So he's just in there for protecting the team, keep them alive and damage. And then Geomancer is in perception. He needs the 500 accuracy to land. I've got 550 on him, and he needs 251 speed so that he can land those debuffs before the boss takes its first turn, and it can actually start the damage off right away. It's not important actually that he does that, but it does help speed up the runs if you're faster than 250 speed. And then he has these masteries through War Master, no relics. Painkeepers, it doesn't matter what gear they're in, they just need to be the right speed. They don't have to be leveled. So you can see this one's a level 50, this one's a level 34 5-star. And really the third Painkeeper I won't even bother taking out of the vault. Both basically the Painkeepers just need to be at a certain speed, so which is pretty widely variable as well. They don't need any stats really. So the HP, the defense, nothing matters but the speed on the Painkeeper so they can take their turns. The third Painkeeper, 213, 214, and 215 for the three Painkeepers. And these guys, the presets do matter. So Helikath is got the 1s and the 2 there. Geomancer does have Creep and Petrify off, and he opens up with Quicksand. And then these turns matter for the speeds. So my slowest Painkeeper opens up with the Spectacular Sweep and then has the priorities of 1 and 2. My next fastest has those priorities, and my fastest one has those priorities. So you'll see that opener, which ones opens, does change on those three Painkeepers. So that is important, is the order of those attacks on that team. So those are the champs, those are the builds, those are the team settings for what I'll call the slower run. You know, it took a couple of minutes, but it's safe. It's 100%, can't fail, easy team to build if you have a Helikath or an All-Score. So, as I said, DPS can be anybody, and the three Painkeepers can be right out of Shard. They can be level 30s. Doesn't matter. No point in building them up. So, that's that team. Let me show you my speed team. All right, speed team. 2 Newts, Marius, Painkeeper, Renegade. Basically, a couple Blessed Bashes. Marius, it does his big hit, reset, and roll again. Painkeeper and Renegade will both die. The other 3 guys will hang out, kill the boss, and never fails. 100%. That's my speed team. There's faster teams out there, I'm sure. That works fast for me. I'm good with it. So Newt is in just mixed gear. He has 4,000 defense, 250 speed, 500 accuracy, 310 crit damage, no relic. He is booked. He has Soul Reap, which can come in handy for the end of the boss. He's got partial masteries down to Giant Slayer. The other Newt has those masteries. He's down to Flawless Execution for more crit damage. He has Brimstone on him, 3-star, no relic. Perception, he has 436 accuracy, 258 speed, and 55,000 HP. Marius is in lethal, 5,000 defense, 360 crit damage, crit capped, and not enough 250 speed, 254. Not enough accuracy to land his abilities. He has Helm Smasher as his tier 6 mastery, Cruelty Blessing up to 4-star, no relic. So that's Marius. I did show you the Painkeeper already, and Renegade is 6-star awakened. Not important. She wasn't when I used this team originally. She's in a shield set just because she was on a Seer team. Doesn't matter in this fight. Partial masteries, Phantom Touch, doesn't matter. No relic. And she has 66,000 HP and defense. You see her die anyway, so really it doesn't matter. I just need her to reset before she dies. She's slow and no accuracy. So that's the speed team. Let me bring in the next team. All right, let's try another team for a little fun here. This is Ancora, Marius, and Nishak. No team settings. I'm just going to throw them in and see what they do. Goal would be just to out-damage him before he can get to the point that he can kill us. Brimstone on Nishak will speed things up too, if that lands. And we do have Ancora in there to pick anybody up if one of the 2 damage dealer dies. She can also cleanse, which is helpful. We do have Marius's defense base, so he can take a hit longer too. But we will have to wait for them to get their skills back. And then Nishak just keep landing those poisons and those bombs, and Marius keep doing his max HP hits. So far we're looking good. He will often look good on a run in this boss until you hit low HP, when he starts hitting harder. All right, so we picked Nishak up. Hope he doesn't just get killed again in his next turn. All right, max HP HP helps. All right, boss is getting low. So it looks like Ancora can take quite a punch here. So I'm feeling pretty good. Those poisons and those bombs should take him down pretty easy. Yeah, that's looking really safe. So that's another speedy-ish team, not speed team, but fairly easy team to build. Obviously, you need Marius again. You probably could sub in a Newt instead of the Marius. It's really just doing max HP and keeping them alive. But basically, you can see Ancora could just stay. She could just take hits. And she was reviving and she was cleansing. So Ancora was looking really, really successful there. So that's another team. I did show you the Marius already. Let me show you the Nishak and Ancora. Ancora's in a bolster set, so she does get some heals from that. She's in timely intervention in her tier 6 to speed up if anybody dies. She has life harvest, which doesn't do anything in this fight. No relic. And her stats, she's in 111,000 HP with 4,600 defense, 278 speed, and nothing else in her stats matter. Nishak, he is in perception and cruel, 7,300 attack, 236 speed. He does not have really crit going, and he has enough accuracy to land those debuffs, which if he doesn't have 500 accuracy, there's no point in having him in the fight because he won't land his debuffs. That's his job. You don't have to have that much attack. It just helps that he does more damage, and then the poisons are irrelevant to that. So it's only when the bombs go off that that attack really matters. So it can speed up the run, but it wouldn't be a success or failure if he had less attack. So that's another a speed team. I'll stop there on the main account. Let's switch over to the free-to-play, and I'll show you a few teams there that are pretty safe to build too. So this is the free-to-play account. This is what I run on this account. I'll do one without Arbeus just because somebody's going to say mythical, but you'll see that I can just put somebody else in. I do have a team set up, surprisingly enough. I didn't think I had one, but I'll show you this team and then I'll swap some players in and just show you that, you can do other teams. So none of these champs are built for this boss. I literally just put these teams together and just tried to see what would work on this account. This one tended to work, so stop talking, hit play. So let's let this one run, which is interesting because I don't think Geo has enough accuracy. So I'm actually fascinated to watch this myself and see if he lands his debuffs. I guess Arbeus adds an increase accuracy, except she flips over right away and doesn't ever land that debuff. And Geomancer runs with Creeping Petrify, which is useless. So fascinating. Let's see. He does have his 8. That's neat. Oh, so Geo did land his abilities, and then Ninja took them right off. Ninja explodes them. It's an interesting pairing, I guess, with Ninja and Geomancer both in here, because Ninja is taking away Geomancer's HP burn, which would have done damage, but I guess at least he explodes it, so he's doing some damage, but not as much as Geo would have done if he just let it up there. We do have a 6-star Awakened Ninja, so he is bringing Brimstone in, which is nice, so that probably brings a lot of my damage. As I showed you in the main accounts run, if you just stay alive on this boss, you can just chip away at him, but the longer he's alive, the more damage he will do if you're not unkillable, if you're not blocking damage though. So that's the downside. So you do need to take him down in a reasonable amount of time if you don't have block damage, because he will grow and his attack and his defense both scale as the fight goes on, the more Iron Brand turns you have. So Ninja's still hitting him. Basically, this team's just chunking away on him. Thor can die. We have Elva to pick him up if we need him, and really Thor is just another damage dealer. He's not important to finish the run, really. I've got 3 different sources of damage in here: Geo, Ninja, and Thor. So as long as somebody stays alive, and as I said, you can swap the DPSs out, and I'll do that just to show you different attacks. It's really the who's on the team for damage doesn't matter in this case. I brought 3 different damage dealers here that added up in their damage. So minute 44 on that team, just a team that I put together and threw in there. So let's see what the team settings did actually. So Ninja 2 million of the damage, Geomancer brought 1 million, and as I said, Thor just chipped in another 400,000. So let me show you the team setup on there, since I did have one. So Arbeus I did have her set up to switch right away and then just stay in her second form, which brought heals to the team, and Stone Skin for her to try and stay alive. Ninja, he had no presets. Thor had no presets, and actually and Elva had no presets, and Geo had no presets. So basically I built the preset just to have Arbeus switch forms. I will show you the stats here because I'll probably just skip all the builds because this is the free-to-play account. The builds are what they can be, just trying to get damage. So Arbeus she went to her alternate form. So she had 70,000 HP with 3,500 defense, 235 speed, and not enough stats to land anything. Ninja had 257 speed, decent HP, some defense, and 377 accuracy. Thor had had 185 speed with 5,000 attack and 254 crit damage, not enough accuracy. And then Elva, 233 speed, 81,000 HP, 2,700, 8,000 defense. She is in a shield set for my Wixwell clan boss team. And Geomancer, 202 speed, 313 accuracy. All right, let's try this team. So I took out Arbeus, and I also have Ninja out, because he was 6-star awakened, just in case you don't have that good of a ninja. So we'll try this team. No preset set. Mithrala's in there. She can poison. She can put an increased defense and increased attack on the team. Shields. Wixwell's in there to bring more protection. He can put decreased attack on the boss, but he doesn't have enough accuracy like everybody else, so he may not actually land it. Geomancer's still landing his ability somehow with not enough accuracy. Yeah, and Wixwell's landing decreased attack. I'm starting to wonder if the Hell Hades site has the right accuracy on the information on it. They did change the mechanics of some of these bosses. I wonder if they lowered the accuracy requirements and Hell Hades site just didn't update. Don't know, but it's we're definitely landing abilities that we shouldn't land here. I can't explain that. So you saw right there the boss cleansed because we hit the, I assume that's the 60% HP mark. And he removed all his debuffs, which kind of sucks when I'm putting poisons and HP burns and all that up there. So that cleanse is it's a good ability of the bosses to protect himself. But you can see this team is protecting itself pretty strongly with the double protectors in there. You can't get overconfident against the Twins boss though, because the later in the runs when he gets below 40% HP, that's when he brings out his big double attack and he can do a lot more damage. So we'll have to see how he does, how this team holds up when we're below 40%. We're not getting as many debuffs out there either, which definitely make this run slower. We're relying on Rathalos to do some hits there. Come on, Rathalos, get up some abilities. All right, get some poisons out. That'll help. So you can see this is a free-to-play account. Not really special champs in here. Mithrala's, Elva's definitely helpful, but Mithrala is easily acquirable. Wixwell was a fusion. Geomancer is definitely helpful because those burns he puts up do lower the amount of damage the boss can do. So not the fastest team, but just wanted to show you a team with no presets, just thrown in with champs I had and looked pretty comfortable, right? I mean, Mithrala wasn't going anywhere. Wixwell's healthy. And you got a reviver in there. So it's just another team on the free-to-play. That team worked pretty well too. So let me show you who I haven't shown you already. So that's not what I want to do. Let me go to champs, recently used first. So Mithrala's in a regen set, which is definitely helpful. No relics. Oops, let me show you the stats. 81,000 HP, 3,500 defense, 200 speed. And that's really all that. And I guess between the two, she has about 451 resistance, and she was resisting some stuff from the boss. It's technically too low resistance, but she was getting some resist in there. No relics, brimstone, 3-star, no masteries. Well, I really could get her some masteries. Wow, that's especially with the accuracy and resistance I pick up from those. Kind of crazy. Rathalos is in mixed stuff. He's got some Slayer in there, 3 pieces of Slayer, and 4,954 attack. He is 1 short of crit cap, 200 crit damage, and 200 accuracy, 190 speed. Really, not a very good build at all. This is one of the early builds on my account that I've never really fixed. I should do some work on Rathalos and a gear swap. I know I have better gear now than that. And I didn't show his masteries. He does have War Master and Retribution and Deterrence to get some counter attacks on the skill. Brimstone, 3-star, no relics. Wixwell has a reflex set on because he's on the clan boss team. 4,700 defense, 43,000 HP, 235 speed, and nothing else really matters on him. And no relic, Brimstone, and War Master, and support tree masteries. Elva is in a shield set. She has 81,000, 2,700, and 233 speed. I think I showed her already. Yeah, time is in I showed you Elva already, actually. And then Geomancer is in perception, 202 speed, 45,000, 2,700 defense. He's got 313 accuracy, 143% crit damage, no relics, no blessing applied, and War Master with no passives, no support tree should have been picked. So that's that team. So those are just a few different teams. You can see on the free-to-play here, I just threw in some champs and they can do stage 15. So it's not a lot of magic to the boss. I think there's a lot of mechanics I mentioned in the beginning you can really just ignore if you can just put a team in there that can support itself and have some sources of damage. I could throw Husk, I could throw Cold Heart in there instead of Geo or instead of Rathalos. The DPSs are just rotatable, and then you just had a few champs in there with shields or protection, or revive is nice if you can't keep the champs alive. You know, there's a lot of teams you could use. So just trying to show you that. I showed you a few teams on the main. I showed you a couple teams on the free to play here. Just you know, a potpourri of different options there that I hope helps you, gives you ways to beat the boss. And I tried to show as many of the skills and abilities or stats on the chaps as I could to make it helpful for you. If you have any questions, let me, feel free to add them in the comments. And if there's anything I can do to make it helpful, let me know.